Hey, hey, family, we are back.
Woo.
Your real estate cheerleader and your mindfulness
Mortgage.
mortgage expert.
Yes.
All right. Well, welcome back to Tuesday's Tips with me and Kelsey. And today we're talking about the do's and the don'ts when it comes to purchasing your property. And so we're pumped. So, Kelsey, do you want to kind of start us off? You want to give us an update on interest rates if you must?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
the things.
Got some great updates. Last week, we talked about how we are seeing some rate dips, and that's because of Powell's recent announcement. And we'll continue to see that throughout the next year. So always come back to your mortgage loan expert to see where the interest rates are, but we are going towards a positive direction. So they'll definitely help.
This
Yeah.
is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
guys, if you're waiting, jump off the fence now before it gets crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot stress that enough.
Well, in the last year, we've been just so used to seeing rate hikes. And so any news of rate dips is good news for us, and it's going to help our buyers. But of course, we know that means that there may be more competition. So we want to make sure that you are ready to move forward. And if you are ready to move forward, we have do's and don'ts on how to start the mortgage process and what to do throughout it. So I'm going to go through some of those items. Mainly, it has to do with the funds that you have and then your credit, right? So when I'm going through an application, I'm looking at your income, your assets, and credit, but we really want to see where those items are coming from. So when we have certain payoffs, so say you've got a credit card that you need to pay off in order to qualify, I don't typically want to see you paying that off up front. That's the number one question I get is, hey, if I pay off all this debt, can I get more house? Can I get pre-approved for more?
Yeah.
Yes, but maybe those funds aren't going to necessarily help you with a bigger down payment or a bigger approval. So it's better to just apply without that payoff and then let me know up front if that's something that you want to plan to do, right? Because those funds can always be allocated to something else. Something else to think about when it comes to your funds, we have a lot of buyers that look at gift funds. So that whether that's from a family member like your mom, dad, maybe a cousin, we want to see
Grandpa?
where grandma, we want to see where those funds are coming from. And so we don't like to see a lot of deposits that go into your account unless it's associated with your income. Right. So whenever you have a deposit in your bank account that's a little bit bigger than your income, maybe a gift fund for your down payment or closing costs, I want to know that up front so that we can catch it and we can explain to the underwriter why you have this extra cash. So um, that's a really good thing to know. And then the last thing that I wanted to go over is income. So everything is very funds and credit card driven, but your income is something that we look at when it comes to stability, right? So we look at 2 years of your employment history, and we want to see if you have changed jobs that we know that's in the same industry or at least the same pay structure. So if you are thinking of changing jobs within your pre-approval phase, so I've got you pre-approved and you want to do a new job change, I want to know that up front because then I can see what we're working with and make sure that your pre-approval is secure before we place that offer in.
I love that, Kelsey. And what I'm going to do is piggyback off of what you said. Guys, you have to be super transparent with your lender and, of course, with me as well, because the more you tell them, the more they can get creative in finding the best program for you, the best loan for you. So when you're entering into this process of purchasing a house, and that's a goal, we want to help you get to the end zone because I'm a real estate cheerleader. End zone. I thought that was cute. Anywho, you want to make sure that you put everything on the table so Kelsey is able to fully see the whole picture of what your profile looks like because everyone is different. She talked about credit, she talked about income, she talked about gifts. And so you're able to use all of these things. But if she doesn't know that up front, she's not able to lay out all the options you could potentially have. She can only go off of what you've told her. So it is super, super, super important to be transparent. She's not there to judge you. She's
Yeah.
there to help you.
Yeah, and we try to catch these things before you go under contract because when you go under contract on a house, that means that the seller has accepted your offer and agreed to your terms. we don't really want much to jump into play when it comes to the underwriter's review of your file, right? So if there's something that comes up that's unexpected, we want to know up front. One other thing that I see within the application process, once you get pre-approved and you place that offer, sometimes I have buyers that ask me, hey, I'm ready to buy my washer and dryer. I want to go to Nebraska Furniture Mart. I want to open up a new line of credit. I want to front load all of this on here. Please wait until after closing. You'd be surprised about some of the credit lines that I see open before we get to the closing table. I actually had a client about 2 years ago who, so I told her all these do's and don'ts throughout the process and bought a car in between the process. We ended up making it work, but a $400, $500 payment on a car can really mess with your approval when it comes to your debt to income ratio. So we always want to place you in a position where you're approved for the loan. And if things happen in between, I want to work through that with you, but I can only work through it with you if I know it up front.
Exactly. So upfront, be super transparent. And then I like that you mentioned that, because a lot of people don't realize that front loading is exciting. Like, put it into your cart, but if you start to actually purchase those things and it's not cash and you finance it, you can jeopardize financing your home. And it's beautiful that you made it, work. Because Kelsey, the thing is, you are a go-getter. You do your best to make sure that anyone who says they want to buy a home, you are able to find a creative way to get them there. But guys, don't make her job any harder than it needs to be, because, furniture, if you don't have a house, where are you going to put that furniture?
Right.
So
exactly.
just,
Exactly. Yeah.
And what I tell people too, the loophole of that, if you want to buy a car, buy furniture, buy the property first, and then within 60 days, it doesn't report to your credit. So then go buy those other things. Now, let me tell you this. I am not an advocate for you overextending yourself. So I'm not saying go buy a car immediately after you buy a house. I'm just saying, if you're going to do it, I would do it in that order. Home, then the car, because it does not report to your credit for 60 days when you purchase a house. But we just don't want things to be crazy, because things like that are like fastballs, and me and Kelsey have to navigate, and then we have to gotta catch up.
And one other thing when it comes to your credit, I'm not saying don't use your credit, right? Like, if you've got credit cards that you put your bills on and you pay it off monthly, use your credit utilization like you usually do. And how it's going to help you is boost that credit score up, help you with your interest rates. But what I'm really talking about is opening up those new lines of credit, right? And so if there's something that you have questions on before you get into that mortgage option, or at least seeing, hey, I see this car or this furniture or whatever that I want to buy, always come to me first. Let me know the information, and then I can coach you along the way.
Amen. We want to do the heavy lifting for you. So if you have any questions, don't ask your cousin, your aunt, your dad, or your grandpa. Come ask us, or Google, because we are in the trenches. We do this every single day for multiple clients. We want to see you succeed, just like we have helped so many others. So we pray that this has brought you value, guys, the do's and the don'ts. Next week, we will not be on. Well, actually, we're done with our lives for the rest of the year, because we're coming upon holiday seasons. But once again, if you want to, get more in-depth information, schedule a consultation with Kelsey, and we can even do a double team. Like, we can do a Zoom together. She'll talk all things mortgage, and then I'll talk all things process. So we want to help you, but we can't help you until we know that you need help. So,
Well, and we're excited to see you next year, and we'll have some home buyer seminars to kind of guide you through those processes. So if you've got any interest in purchasing a house next year, hop into one of those home buyer seminars. It's about an hour and a half of your time. You sit down, you hear from the experts, and then you understand the process moving forward.
Yes, and Kelsey didn't say this, but she's also having a home buyer seminar today, guys, at 6:00. If you want more information, please check her out. Her social medias are working again. Well, Instagram is. So please go register tonight, go and get some knowledge. And then we'll also have one together come
Yeah.
January 27th
Yeah.
in person. We would love for you to come out to both if you can. So we'll see y'all either tonight or next year.
Of course. Well, Keyra, it's always a pleasure to work with you. And anyone that is interested in purchasing a house, Keyra's got you, and she's going to be on your side. So we'll see you next year. Otherwise, see you later.
Bye.